Hello traders. Hello, how are you? I hope you are okay. I'm very okay. This is the Trading Cyborg, and today we are going to be discussing what we call the high and the low of the week concept. Now, this concept is a concept which I have found useful in my 5 years plus in trading. It's a concept which I have backtested. It's a concept which has proven not only extremely helpful in mapping the daily architecture of price action, but also the weekly architecture of price action. Now, we begin by understanding what is the high and the low of the week. So the high and the low of the week simply means that each and every week, for the 52 weeks we have in a year, each and every week, price is going to form what we call a high or a low. So when price forms a high, we are likely going to sell. So if it forms a high of the week, we are going to sell. And if it forms a low of the week, we are going to buy for that week. Now, another thing, the high and the low of the week mostly form on Tuesdays. That is why today we are going to backtest and see whether this high of the week is a true concept and how you can beautifully apply it to your trading and how in fact you're going to make money using the high and the low of the week concept. So we are going to do a 1 year back test starting from 6th January to 18th to 6th January 2025 up to today's date. So today's date is 18th of April 2026. So back test of 1 year and 4 months. So we begin. Now on our chart, this is the date of Saturday, Monday 6th. So this is Monday. So we have Tuesday here, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we have Friday here. Okay? So as you can see, Monday and Tuesday formed our high of the week. So our high of the week from 6th January to 10th January, our high of the week was formed on Tuesday, and price went over and deliver over 394 pips in total. Let's say 400. Okay, so if you're able to catch just this trade, you don't even have to catch this high of the week. Okay, you can even wait for price. You can wait for price to break below an order block like this one here. So search an OB and then wait for that the opposing candle to come and retest inside a fair value gap, and then you can get your clean entry, and this clean entry is what is going to give you the weekly highs and the weekly move. Okay, so you simply wait between Monday and Tuesday, and then the move will avail itself. Now on this coming other week, from now Monday 13th to Friday, price formed a low of the week on Monday, and then this low of the week, price retested it on Tuesday. So that means if you did not get the Monday's move, definitely Tuesday's move would have given you a very good entry. So we had a very good entry using the fib. So Monday we formed the low of the week, then Tuesday we formed what we call a reversal. Okay? And from that point, price went around how many pips? 150 pips. So those are 2 weeks out of 52 weeks which presented a very clean high of the week. Now we have some other weeks which are not going to be very clear. For example, this week of Monday 20th up to Friday 24th. So this week, yes, this week gave us a very clean high of the week, but there was no retest and there was no much movement. So you may find that it is good for us to note this down, because this is a back test. But in the long run, we can do what is called analysis. So on this Excel sheet, we are going to denote which week is that, and then we are going to note how many pips price went, and then we are going to note was the high or low clear, and then we are going to note which day it was formed, right? So what else is important? So we shall begin with so let me make this beautiful. Alright, so here we are now. We have said the week from Monday 6th to Friday 10th. So price, we have seen price went 350 pips. The high was very clear and it was formed on Tuesday. That is number one. Number two, we have seen the week from Monday 13th. So Monday 13th to Friday 17th. So the high of the low of the week. So this was a low of the week. So clear high, the clear low, and price went 150 pips. Very nice. I also wanted to add whether there was a retest. So this is how we do a back test. Okay, so I just don't want to teach you. I want you to learn how to carry out your own back test or your own hypothesis. So which day was this one formed? This one was formed on Monday. Okay. Okay, so we had a retest on Tuesday and Wednesday. So this one we had a retest on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then for this one, the first week, we had a retest on so these are retests. So we had a retest on maybe Friday, you can say Friday. So a retest is when price comes back to specific fib levels to take more liquidity. All right, so we proceed to the next level. Now you want to try and avoid trading during periods when price is not very what can we say, when the price action is not very clear. Okay, so we check so on the week of Monday 20th, price formed opened by buying. So that would have confused us because we have said when a high is formed, we expect a sell. And when a low is formed, we expect a buy. This means this trade this week will not have been very clear. And for the purposes of this experiment, we are not going to take weeks which are not very clear. Okay? So this means if I was trading using this system, that week I would not have taken trades because I would have been confused. Okay, so assuming price formed the high on 21st January at 00 a.m., we would have had an entry at 10 a.m. London session, but that entry was not very clear and it was not very clean. So this one went only 36 pips before it finally reversed. So this week would not have been a very good week. And as I've always said, so the Monday 20th to Friday 24. So this one we shall put not available. It was not clear. The low of the high of the was not very clear. It was formed on Tuesday. No, Wednesday. No, Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday. And then there was no retest. So we continue. So on Monday, price opened by buying. That means we would have been anticipating a sell for the week. So our high of the week was formed at 4 p.m. New York session. So that is a kill zone. That's a kill zone time. That's the kill zone. So Monday 27th to Monday 27 to Friday 20. Now 31st. So the high was formed during. Alright, so was it clear? Yes, it was. So clear high. We write clear high. How many pips did it go from that point? So from that point, Monday to Friday, it went around 137 pips. So we write 137 pips. It was formed on Monday during the New York session. Was there a retest? That is, did price give us an entry? So once we broke these levels, price came and retested at these levels, and then it also came and retested on Thursday, and then on Friday. So there was a what do you call it? There was a retest on Tuesday, and then we had a retest on Thursday, and then we also had a retest on Friday. So this was an example. So now we are jumping into Monday, February 3rd. So price, you can see price opened with a very clean buy. We went all the way and formed the high of the week on Wednesday. So price formed, so between February 3rd, so Feb 03 to Feb for how many? Feb 7th, clear high. Then Wednesday, so it was formed on Wednesday, and then how many pips did it go from that point onwards? So it went, so we went around how many pips? We went around 209 pips with a retest on so there was a retest on Friday. So Friday, we had 209 pips. So we had a retest on Friday, a very clean retest. So you can see price came and wicked inside our, by the way, it was even NFP. So price wicked inside our, and then went around another 116 pips. So total more than 300 pips. So Friday, so Feb, so now we are moving on. So Feb 11th to Feb 15th. Sorry for that. Let me put Feb 10th. So how many pips did this price go? So let us say that we had a very clean high or a very clean low. So between the weeks of Monday 10th up to Friday 14th, we had a low of the week formed on Tuesday 11th. So this low was very clean. Not only clean, but very clear low. And price went, okay, it was formed on Monday. Then it retested on Tuesday. And then, so how many pips did it go? What? It went around 294 pips. So 294 pips. And by the way, every week, if you're able to get only 50 pips, not only are you not only are you a great trader, but you are among the best traders. So we continue. So Monday. So this week between Monday 17th and Friday 21st. So Monday 17th, then we first ask ourselves, do we have a clear high or low of the week? So we had a clear high formed on Monday, then there was a retest on Tuesday, before everything went haywire on Wednesday and Thursday and then Friday. So we had how many pips? So this went 62 pips. It was clear. It was formed on Tuesday, Monday, and then it was also it totally tested on Tuesday. So we know, as I've said before, we know the high by how the week begins. So we can begin by buying. So this is Tuesday, then we sell, then we come and retest again. That's a clean high of the week. So on Thursday and Friday of this week, price just changed direction out of nowhere. So we have the week of Monday 24th to Friday 28th. So Friday 24th, or rather Feb 24 to Feb 27th. So was there a clean high formed? Yes. So there was a clean high formed on Monday. We retested that high on Tuesday. Then we also retested. There was also another retest on Wednesday. So I'll be very honest. For this trade, I would not have taken this trade because first, during the London session, there was too much consolidation. Even coming to the New York session, there was still consolidation. So I would have probably gotten out, then waited for the next day for price to come and retest. But still, I would not even have gotten this. I would have gotten out of this trade because this trade never went so much. So the real high was formed on Wednesday. It was formed on Wednesday, but the real move happened on Thursday. So on Thursday is when we moved how many pips? We moved 100 pips. So the real high, so it was not clear, formed on Thursday. So you can see we are beginning to get a pattern that when highs and the lows of the week are formed beyond Thursday, beyond Wednesday, it is not a good way, it is not a good time to get in. So we went, how many pips did we go? We went 100 pips. Alright, so we have Monday here now. So now we have another week where price does not give you any entry. Okay? So on Monday, March 3rd, And you're supposed to know that March many times is a consolidating month for GBP USD. So on Monday 3rd March to Friday 7th, we had a very long trending upward momentum. This means there was the high of the week was formed, the low of the week was formed. In fact, there was no low of the week. So the only way you could have gotten inside this trade is if you would have used now another system, another strategy now, where price will break above. So price will have broken above, maybe like the way it broke above here, then came and retested. So that is the only way you could have gotten into that trade. Okay? But still, if you had gotten inside this trade for a sell, thinking that it is going to continue selling, you would have been taken out. So for this week, you would have seen a lot of losses, but at least we would have mitigated those losses because we have seen, we are understanding that for a good week, we must have a clean high and a clean low formed to ascertain our direction of the candle. So we are going to write that there was no clean high. So March. So now we are in March. So March 3rd to March 4th. So we will not denote the number of pips because it was not clear. So that was also another not clear. So not available also. Even if it went how many pips, that would have not been a good trade. Unless of course you used another way to get inside. So we also have this other week of March 10th. So March 10th to March 14. So we move 37th. And for this, I will also note not clear, and I will give you a reason why. No, discipline is very important in this field, and if you don't have discipline, your money will keep on getting sucked. So to me, these are clean, very clean high. Okay, so these are clean high. So price came and retested this level. We went around how many pips? These are 67. After that, price changed direction. Then on Wednesday, price began consolidating. Then on Thursday, so you can see that this week was not a very good week, and that is March. As I have told you, March is not a very good week. So at least now you can see a good week here now. So Monday, this is Monday 17th. So Monday 17th to Monday 21st. So if you are listening, if you have been listening for all this while, this is a trading cyborg, and if you want mentorship from me to learn more about the inner mechanics of the market structure or price action, I'm going to leave my number in the comment section, and then you can hit me up and then talk to me. Okay, so we first check whether the high was clear or whether the high was not very clear. The high was very clear because price on Monday opened with a clean buy. A clean buy, a clean uninterrupted buy. And with that, you know that week at least, so we had a retest. We created a new high on, well, we had a retest on Tuesday, and then price went how many pips? 41 pips, and then you still had another retest on Thursday. So if you would have gotten in at that level and held all the way to Thursday, Friday, you would have had, so 116 pips. Was it clear? Well, we shall not know, we shall not very clear, but it was clear. Let us just say it was clear. Which day was it formed? It was formed on Thursday. Okay, was there a retest? Yes, there was retest. So from Monday, Tuesday, so Tuesday and Thursday, and maybe and Thursday, and Thursday. So far, I hope you are getting the concept of what we are, the gist of what we are trying to do here. Okay. So you have to understand that not all the weeks you are going to be trading, and not all the weeks are going to be very clear. And that is why you are told that 50% of the time your hands must be to yourself. You must keep yourself. You must keep your self-control in check. We also have a very good week here on March 24th. So this high was formed on March 24th, a retest on Tuesday March 25, before price began playing games as you would expect. So high, so Monday 24th, was it 24th? To Friday 28th. Let's say it was very clear high. Okay, so you can see March is a stealer, is a thief of your money. March is a thief of your money, and March is what is going to put you in a coma if you continue joking around. So from Tuesday, price went around how many pips? 80 pips. You can see March is not a very good one. Was formed? It was formed on Tuesday. It was formed on Monday, sorry. Then we had a retest on Tuesday. Okay. We also have, so from Thursday, price went back to its original level, then consolidated once again, and then continued. Now we come to Monday 31st up to Friday 4th. So Monday, so March 31st to April 04. First, we formed a clean high on Monday. Then we had a retest on Tuesday. But price had other plans. So what price did? Price went and formed the new high on Thursday. So this week's price action began happening on Thursday. So the high was formed on Thursday. And then we went 311 pips. And then we went on, it appeared on Thursday. Was there a retest? Maybe on Friday we would have gotten an entry if we had looked well enough. Then we had the week of April 7th to Friday 11th. April 07th to Friday, now to April 7th. So for this, I don't see a very clean high. Well, it looks like a clean, this looks like a clean high because the week opened with a buy, a very clean buy, which we call a Judas swing or a fake move. So this fake move gave us at least 200 pips during the kill zone session. So we went at least, it was a clear high. Now we are assuming that we did not know what is going to open on Thursday, last day. So we gave us around 200 pips, and then it was formed on Monday. Then there was no retest because price later reversed. So we had a retest on Wednesday before price changed direction all the way. Okay, now up to that point, using this data, I would like you to continue with this exercise and see whether you can identify the high or the low of the week. Once you are able to identify the high or the low of the week, you have to know that Mondays is when we get informed decision. We know that the week starts from Monday, so on Monday we try to understand what is happening. Is the price going to form the high or the low? Okay, is there an order block which is going to rest at? Is there a fair value gap price is going to fill so that we can form our high or the low? Okay, so you can see that in how many weeks? 1, 2, in 13 weeks. In 13 weeks, we had how many weeks which are clear highs? 1, 2, 3, 4. So let us note them. So 1, 2, then we have 3, and then we have 4, then we have 5. And then we have 6, we have 7, we have 8, maybe 9. So out of 13 weeks, is it 13 or 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So out of 14 weeks, about 9 weeks were very good and 5 weeks were very bad. So the question is, would you have been patient enough during weeks when we did not have a very clear high? For example, on between Feb 17th and Feb 21, there was a high, but the high was not very clear. The next week, the high or the low was not very clear. So for a whole month, for a whole 1, 2, 3, 4, for a whole month, you would have been taking losses because of failing to understand the bigger picture of price action. That is why today I want to introduce to you this concept of highs and the concept of lows, because this concept will not only help your trading, but it will help you trade when price action is completely aligned. Of course, there are other parameters like understanding the innate structure of price action, but this concept of the high and the low of the wicks is extremely helpful to your trading, and I hope you are going to incorporate it to your trading. So as I end, if you like a mentorship from me, and if you'd like me to help you navigate these markets, check for my number, then look for me. So thank you, and I hope you find this extremely helpful.